Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Thursday Tidbits. So today we're going to talk about the buyer occupying the home prior to closing and why this could be a bad idea for you as the seller. You might remember in episode 1 of our Thursday Tidbits, I talked about when we get our keys in South Carolina and how that's a little bit different here than it is in other places. We do not get our keys until the deed has been recorded. So typically the buyer and the seller will sign in the morning, possibly at 2 different locations, and then that deed is taken to the courthouse to be recorded. And we get notification usually around 3 o'clock in the afternoon that the deed has been recorded, and then the buyer's agent can turn the keys over to the buyers to their new home. So sometimes, usually when this most frequently occurs is on a Friday. You know, the buyers move down here from who knows where. They've got a truck full of furniture. They may or may not have kids that are ready to get into a house and get settled, and they would like to be able to occupy the house prior to getting that deed recorded at 3 o'clock. And every time I've seen this go wrong, it's happened on a Friday. That's just usually when it happens. So what may happen is, let's say the seller says to the buyer, okay, you can go ahead and start moving in prior to getting the deed recorded at 3 o'clock. Now let's just say, you know, something happens and we're for some reason not able to get that deed recorded at 3 o'clock. If it's a Friday, that deed's not going to get recorded until Monday. So you've got the whole weekend where the buyer is living in your house and it's technically not their home yet, even though they have closed on the property. So some things that could happen. What if there's damage to the property, you know, just by moving in? Who is responsible for that? What if something happens to the property, like there is damage that would be caused by a natural disaster, and whose insurance is responsible for taking care of those fixes? So these are some things that could crop up if you allow the buyer to occupy prior to closing. Sometimes the buyers want to occupy several days or even weeks prior to closing, and I would definitely advise against that. I think your attorney probably would advise against that too. You know, the longer the buyer is in your home and it's not theirs, the more chances for things to go wrong. And, you know, as your agent, we want to protect you as much as possible. Your attorney wants to protect you as much as possible. So that's why 99% of the time we do not recommend allowing the buyers to occupy prior to closing. So what can you do to prevent some of the problems that may occur that would need, you know, the buyers may want to ask for occupancy prior to closing? I try to have closings happen in the middle of the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That way, if something happens, the closing signing is delayed, the deed recording is delayed, we've still got time in the week to get that deed recorded so the buyers can move in and not be in limbo for the whole weekend. Definitely if Monday morning is a holiday, for example Labor Day, definitely make sure that you close on your home earlier in the week, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because if anything is going to happen, it's going to happen on a holiday weekend when there's even more time that either the buyer will not be able to get into the house, or if you agree to the occupancy prior to closing, more time they'll be in the house before it's technically theirs. So as with everything, each case is different, but 99% of the time an occupancy prior to closing is just not a good idea to protect yourself. So if you've got any questions about allowing buyers to occupy prior to closing, or if you are a buyer, how you can kind of mitigate some of the issues that might crop up, and how you can get closed so you don't need to ask for an occupancy prior to closing, comment below if you're seeing this on social media, or you can always give me a call at 843-267-2710. Talk to you soon.